Hi, Canada. Can we talk for a second? Because I kind of need to know where have you been keeping these? Like I've been paying attention to the Canadian whiskey shelf for quite a while now because um, it's pretty obvious they're capable of producing amazing stuff up there. Um, they got old stocks, which is kind of a rarity in the world at the moment. But at the same time, like they seem to have absolutely no prestige in the American spirits market, right? So I mean, even like Whistle Pig, which probably would not have had the tremendous success it's had, sourcing originally at least all Canadian rye, unless they'd done everything they possibly could to keep themselves out of the sort of sad cul-de-sac that was the Canadian whiskey section. Um, and so I've been expecting, stuff to come out that was going to be sort of tremendous value that was just going to, knock the Americans and the Scots for a loop. And kind of nothing has been happening for the most part. Gudrun's Wart or whatever. You have to do better than that. And I kept hearing, whispers and rumors about special limited bottlings that were Canada only. But so far, I haven't, I never saw any actually hit the shelves here in Chicago. And then all of a sudden, um, you know, in December of 2020, all at once, like suddenly all the bombs started to drop at once. There are now, as I record this, at least a good half dozen um, Canadian whiskeys that are at least worth your attention, at least worth your consideration, that are now on the shelves that were not on the shelves a couple of months ago. So, what happened? I mean, part of it is, occasionally Jim Murray, in order to sell more copies of his book, will pick a Canadian whiskey to be best whiskey in the world ever. Um, so maybe it has something to do with that, but this is not the first time this has happened. So, you know, um, I don't know what's happened, but I'm rather happy that we've got ourselves some seriously strong, seriously interesting Canadian whiskeys to try. So I've got this is the Lot 40 Cask Strength. This is third edition. Uh, let's see, 54, 500,460 bottles. Um, a Lot 40. We'll get into the details on this in a bit. We have got the Wisers 23-year-old. This is not a rye. Well, it's a rye in the sort of Canadian sense, but they had to actually add a little thing that just on the front that says blended Canadian whiskey because I don't think they can legally sell this as a rye in the U.S. And there's that. And Alberta Premium Cask Strength Limited Edition. Jim Murray's best whiskey, awesome sexiness award winner for last year. Um, yeah, okay. So the thing to know about all of these is that the proofs are high, which has been lacking in Canadian whiskey so far, as at least insofar as it's been available in the U.S. Like these are hot beasts. This is 57% alcohol. This is 64 something. This is 66 even. So, you know, uh, you know, if call the rescue brigade if you see me collapse on camera. All right, so let's get this started with the lot 40 here. I'm just gonna go by proof. This is about $80. Third edition. So this is lot 40 is one of the more dependable options available on in the sort of Canadian whiskey section. It is actually pretty good stuff compared to some of the more prominent bottlings that are not very nice. It is a rye. I don't know exactly the grain breakdown, but it's a rye. Um, and let's see what we got on the nose. 57. I think this is 2019, something like that. 57% alcohol in the case. Oh, oh. Okay, so it's kind of a mess, actually. The overwhelming note I would pull out of that mess would be Starbucks cappuccino. This is not cappuccino from your sort of nice local boutique coffee shop where they're using like single origin Ethiopian espresso. This is this is Starbucks. They're throwing some Sumatra in there, and someone is hitting the button on the machine. So the thing about this to know in advance, which I wish I had known in advance because I didn't, is that for this edition, not so this was originally age printed. They had a 12-year-old and an 11-year-old. This one has no age statement, and they finished it in, I think 75% of the stock they used for this was finished in new French oak. Not telling us what kind of French oak, but probably Limousin, something like that, common oak, that kind of thing. William James's looming buzzing confusion is the word I would use for this. I mean, it's just oak clashing with oak is the main note. Like the distillate is gone. If you told me this was a rye, I would believe you, but that's only because I can't find any counter evidence in what I am smelling. Yeah, some prune, some cinnamon, clove, allspice, like kind of old, like wet, soggy tea leaf note. Like you made tea like 2 days ago and you're just now cleaning up the dregs. That's kind of the smell I'm getting. Yeah, but mainly the espresso thing. A little bit of white pepper too. Sumatra heavy espresso and kind of milk foam. Just lots of oak. Very sort of not very aromatic other than that. Throw like maybe like one fennel seed in there, like one little sprig of juniper. That's kind of all I got. All right, let's try it on the palate. Not looking good for Canada so far. Small sips. Oh, yeah. That is, ooh, that is a lot of oak. Just a big mess of flavors. Just a big, yeah. Most of them oaky of various size, but like clashing oak flavors. So don't come back to me and be like, well, you gave that stag you reviewed a couple of videos ago in '87. So why are you rejecting this? Well, I mean, the stag is like obnoxious levels of overdone oak that sort of works together. It's sort of harmonious despite the bigness of it. This is not that. This is not very harmonious. Yeah, it's sort of baklava smothered in Dr. Pepper would be the note I would give you. Yeah, just take some nice baklava, pour like a 2 liter of Dr. Pepper all over it. That's kind of what you're getting here. A little campfire smoke, some like, but no, campfire and like a burned marshmallow. That sort of Starbucks espresso thing again. Not really the milk note, just the espresso this time. That ooh, more Dr. Pepper, kind of a dried fruit thing, prunes in the finish, and black pepper. Just lots of wood tannins, just aggressive wood tannins. And it doesn't feel nice. It doesn't feel balanced. Yow. Okay, so that's not a great start to the Canada show. Let's see what else we got. Okay, Wiser's. There's the 35-year-old version of this too, which is not bottled at 60. That's only bottled at a mere 50% or something like that. It's a little bit more expensive at $120. So 35-year-old whiskey $120. This is what I'm talking about with the Canada potential value play. I haven't tried that one, but we're gonna try this 23-year-old instead. This is apparently cask strength. The Weiser's 18. I always liked it, even though it was bottled at a mere 40%. So I have high hopes for this one. Let's see what we got on this. So this is not a rye. I think this is mostly corn. 23 years old. Here we go. Okay. Here we go. Bingo. All right. All right. We're just gonna rewind, right? Okay. We're gonna cut all of those last 10 minutes or so. We're gonna start the show over again, right? Hi, welcome to the Canada Show. Today I'll be starting off with Weiser's 23-year-old cask strength. Ignore this lot 40 here. Oh, that's a lovely nose. So yeah, it just smells nice. You're getting porridge, like Mama made some porridge, some marshmallow, but then there's like a tea note to cut that, like an Earl Grey tea, like tea with citrus and bergamot, that kind of thing. Lots of vanilla, lots of pencil dust, like you broke open your pencil sharpener and threw all the dust around. Which is a note I also get in Petit Verdot, and this which is the wine. It's it's kind of reminding me of Petit Verdot. One stick of licorice. There's a little bit of an anise thing going on, not too much. Some fresh mint leaf, so more leafy than minty. And cornflakes. Well, really more like frosted flakes, like Tony the Tiger would approve of this. It's great. But like pour cinnamon on your frosted flakes, that kind of thing. I mean, it sounds, when I describe it, it probably sounds simple, right? But this actually comes across as like just a very deep layered oakiness. But without reaching these sort of obnoxious levels of a pappy or a stag. There's some tobacco, like a burley tobacco, a very nutty kind of tobacco. A little kirsch, a little hints of like a ginger ale. No, like Werner's. Werner's is this soda you can get in the Midwest, which is sort of halfway between a ginger ale and like a cream soda. That's kind of what I'm getting on the nose here. It's very confectionery. It's very desserty, but it does not lack depth for that. This is really nice. On the palate, okay, again, 60. What is this? 64.3% alcohol. All right, so call the fire brigade if you see problems. Oh, okay. So first thing is the mouthfeel. I mean, so this is something I will talk about on occasion. A lot of really woody whiskeys and rums for that matter, and brandies, when they're young and they just had wood shoved into them really quickly, that all tends to be in the front of the mouth, right? This is not doing that. The way I can tell that this is old just by the taste is the way that the oak is kind of covering all around and coating and kind of massaging, all of my cheeks with that sort of oaky character. It's very tannic still, but I'm enjoying it. It's also very cooling on the finish, which I like. It arrives very sweet and confectionery still, but it does have that dry oaky finish. Very classically sort of North American. Can I say that? Frosted Flakes all day. Oh, but like just the best Frosted Flakes anyone's ever made. White pepper in there. That Earl Grey note again. sort of aromatic tea. Oh, big on the wood tannins, but nice tannins in balance, like in harmony, like not like this guy. Um, there's a kind of cinnamon. It's like a mix of cinnamon stick, but also cinnamon bun, like a kind of cinnamon pastry, that kind of thing. Um, both of those things. Little little applesauce, little like peppermint on the finish. Um, some macadamia too. And just a little tiny nudge towards a pine needle. Not, but I mean just a little gesture towards those evergreen forests they got up there. Oh God, this is nice. Oh, I forgot to add water to this. Okay, yeah. So normal rules apply. I'm going to try these sort of neat. Add water to them as we go, and then sort of go through them again, give them a score. Um, as I always do in these little videos with no music and no intro or anything like that. Maybe I should put that. I should do an intro just introducing that sort of, go through it twice concept. Um, this is good stuff. I mean, this is like this is a perfect example of the power of what a sort of corn-based spirit distillate can do when you're not throwing it in a new oak immediately. I mean, this has had 23 years, but and if that had been new oak, this would be like just oak juice at this point. But the fact that they haven't, I know there's probably some new oak in here somewhere, but I mean, the fact that I imagine they've mostly been using, first fill, second fill barrels means this is actually just beautifully in balance still. Like the aggressive greenness and the barkiness is not getting to me. Let me try this lot 40 one more time to see if I added enough water. Oh, it's still not better. We'll go back to that in a second. Sazerac, the Buffalo Trace folks, have been, looking to sell more expensive whiskey. And the way to do that is to get the ages up. But you can't really do that with bourbon, right? Because you just leave it in new oak, it's going to get swamped after about 15 years. Let me see if this is right. That's pretty close. Let me give it a half a squirt more. Let me give you a little hint, guys. Steal from the Canadians. Start with a bourbon aged in new oak as legally required for however long you want. Give it 6 or 8 years, right? Ripe old age for bourbon. After that point, it starts to get a little over the hill. Give it that much time in a fresh, oak cask, and then you're gonna put it in less active oak for the rest of the duration of its aging. In other words, because finishing is legal, right? In this case, you're finishing it in less active oak for not a couple of months, but like, maybe 15, 20 years. But same point applies. You've already gotten your straight bourbon thing and whatever other requirements you want to put in the label. So just a little thought, finish your whiskey for a couple of years in sort of inactive wood, and then you can get the sort of ridiculous prices that you want without the ridiculous oakiness that you want to avoid. Let me see if this is right. Ooh. Damn, that's good stuff. Okay. Coffee on camera, never a good sign. Let's move on. All right. Both these are about 80 in my area. This is actually the budget-minded option of the group. This is only 70. But it was, again, Whiskey of the Year or whatever the hell award that was. Alberta Premium, Cask Strength Rye, limited edition. This is 100% rye. I have no idea what the split is there between malted and unmalted, but we shall see. How this goes. This is rocket fuel. This is 66% alcohol by volume. So yeah, here we go. On the nose. Very aromatic. Completely different. This is, I mean, I can still smell it, tell that it's whiskey, but I mean, it's very, very floral, very perfumed. There's some vanilla in there. There's some like bright cranberry. I think like that, like a sour fruity note. But what really dominates is those floral notes. This smells like potpourri, but like potpourri aged in oak for a long good time, a good long time. Sorry. Little hints of fennel and juniper, but not very much. This if you're coming to this from like MGP style rye, you will be befuddled by the difference in character. There's something in this that reminds me of amber ale, like a really big malty, like imperial style amber ale, where they're sort of getting the ABV up into like the close to 10%. Not green at all though, like for a rye. Which makes me wonder, like how much malted rye they got going in here to sort of avoid that sort of greenness that goes with the unmalted stuff. There's some old tea leaves in this, but kind of nice, but unlike this guy. Kind of leafiness, like not fresh leaves, like dried autumn leaves. A little pickled ginger. Let's give this a try on the palate. Oh, big boy. Very serious, very big, very complex. But again, driven by that potpourri character. Not by sort of herbaceousness or, kind of a, wood spice, any of that. I think there's some new wood in this, but not too much. I think this is mostly sort of refill casks. Some menthol, especially on the back end, there's a little bit of menthol. Rhubarb, big time. Rhubarb on the nose too, actually. Let me try the tasting again. Yeah, rhubarb, that cranberry thing again. But then the oak comes in for a, fairly tannic, but at the same time that has that sort of cooling mentholy finish. But the oak is and so oak, oak at this point, cinnamon, clove, nutmeg. In this case, it's coming across as kind of like a tea, like a Sri Lankan style tea note. And it's not young. I mean, this is younger. This is younger than this. I would bet money on that. But I do think this is older than 10 years. It's just filling up my mouth in a way that younger spirits kind of don't. And again, this is kind of what's interesting about these is they're using a grain mixture similar to the Americans, but I mean, they're aging them for longer in less active oak, and that just gives them a very different profile in how they hit the palate. A little like a tangerine peel note, like a the actual curacao fruit peel, not the liqueur. This is the actual fruit peel. Kind of like a Robitussin thing. Yeah, this is real good too. I have a hair back from this, just because I mean this has a delicious factor, and I can tell like the age is just giving it a charm that is this guy is not quite matching yet. All right, let's give this some water. a lot of water. At least 5 squirts. All right, let's see if that's enough. Half a squirt more. All right. Lot 40, cast strength, 3rd edition, finished in French oak. Take 2. Let's see if this one, if it does any better once, you know, with a little water and a little bit of time. All right, on the nose. Okay, so it's kind of resolved itself. Not as big a mess. Actually, quite a nice nose now. Sawdust, not that. I mean, it's... to be honest, this smells more like Lot 40 now. So, you know, it's some Lipton's tea, some... a lot of ginger ale, like Schweppes ginger ale. Ironically, not Canada Dry. This smells like Schweppes. Like just sawdust, a lot of oak. Some more sort of ashiness. Some soot comes out. The Dr. Pepper is still kind of there, but it's in the back. It's been sort of taken over by those sort of more traditional Lot 40 notes. It's kind of what I mean. It's just kind of turned into Lot 40 now, with some stuff playing in the background, which is not quite as traditional. On the palate, better. I mean, better, but it's okay. So it's kind of a turn into like a ginger ale, but you sort of added a little bit of like a couple drops, like maybe 10-20% of Dr. Pepper in there, but better. And this is what, so as I mentioned, like if I'd known about the finish, I probably would not have bought this, just because this is a perfect example of the problem I almost always have with finished whiskeys. Not all the time, but a lot of the time, which is that you approach them, you stick your nose in, you try them out, neat, and it seems like there's a lot going on. It's just, tons and tons of things happening. Sometimes it's in harmony, sometimes it isn't. Tons and tons of stuff, even though it's not quite in focus. You can't quite get your hand on it, but it feels like there's a lot going on. But then when you give it a little bit of water, give it some time, suddenly that finish just blows off, right? And you're kind of left with whatever was there to start with, basically. And that's kind of what's happened. I mean, I'm just kind of left with a perfectly decent example of Lot 40, but that's about it. That gingery thing, but there's the wood tannins are still there on the finish. A little like a jalapeno pepper thing too, like dry heat. But yeah, it's very gingery. There's that there's a kind of banana note I get in Lot 40 sometimes. There's the strings in there, like you peel the banana, but then there's those little strings stuck to the fruit and you have to peel them off. That's kind of the note I am getting in this, alongside the ginger thing. Yeah, it's I mean, finishes, people have been doing finishes forever, right? They used to call it acing. And it used to be a thing you would do when you had a cask that was a little bit below par, and you needed to do something to give it a little extra flavor before you threw it into your blends. And that was what acing was. And now, it's become this huge thing that just is an excuse to charge, 50% more money on something, let me try this one more time. Just give it another shot. Yeah, it's just Lot 40 with kind of like this Dr. Pepper overcoat now. and a little more wood, more black pepper too, but that's about it. Not my favorite. Um, it's it's a lot 40 with that's now sort of over oaked and a little bit out of balance and weird. Especially so I mean you have a choice here, right? You can drink it neat and there's gonna be lots going on, but it's gonna be sort of just a big confused mess. Or you can add water and just have lot 40 with a few bells and whistles. I don't think that's a great choice, honestly. I'm gonna give this 82 out of 100. I mean, most standard lot 40 would kind of be in that same range. And at $80, I would not recommend that you run out and buy this unless you're like a collector or something. This is not a great effort, in my opinion. All right, moving on. Sorry, Canada. Sorry, Lot 40 fans. You got a great sort of initial project to go to. So just instead of buying this, just buy another bottle of the regular stuff. All right, moving on to the Wisers. Now that I've savaged the poor folks who make this, all right, Wisers. Now with a little bit of little bit of water and a little time. All right, so now it's picked up like a very dusty. It smells like an old library, actually. But you're making cornflakes in there. Well, I mean, like Frosted Flakes, really, but very corny Frosted like grocery store. I always loved the grocery store brand cereals, especially like corn-based cereals more so than the big branded ones. They always seemed like just more corny to me, and that's kind of what I'm getting. It's like library and generic cornflakes, or generic Frosted Flakes. I'm sorry, and then a little baklava in there too, like that sort of nutty pastry thing. Like kind of like a old old dry dirt thing, but nice. Um, actually a lot of creme brulee. Like wow. Okay, how did I miss that? Yeah, just a boatload of creme brulee. Some like custard too, maybe, but like really creme brulee. Like just toast the hell out of it. Um, More porridge, and that Earl Grey note is still right there. Um, who the hell isn't gonna like something like this? This is great. I mean, this is just. I mean, it's pleasant and nice but it's got that sort of complexity to back it up. This is terrific. Okay. Okay. Yeah. Kind of the same thing. Kind of follows from the nose. Getting that's the sort of fresh pastry note, a little creme brulee, little frosted flakes. Maybe you toast up your frosted flakes while you're toasting your creme brulee. But all that married to the sort of that old library note, sort of old books, dust, old shelves, old desks and things. Let me try this again. But again, it's kind of all broken up by that nice sort of Earl Grey tea note, and a little bit of anise, and a little bit of mint, a little bit of herbaceousness kind of coming in to play. Sorry, that's the power chord. To kind of like add a little bit of freshness to this. This is really good stuff. I'm going to give this an 89 out of 100. Home run. This is. I mean, it's not sailing out of the parking into the parking lot, but it's hitting the low part of the stand. Well, no, I was gonna say it's hitting like the low part of the stands, but this is really. I mean, it's Canada, right? They don't really. They do baseball, but so here we go. This is not like one of those magnificent cocky goals shot from like halfway across the rink. This is more like ugly bumped in from behind the goalie's back, but it's a goal. That's kind of what we're looking at here. This is a goal. terrific whiskey. Um, if you're on a budget and you want to know what old spirits taste like, this is, go buy this. Maybe buy some Armagnac on the side, but definitely this should be in a watch list. This is good stuff, 89 out of 100. And we're going to move on. Okay, so best whiskey ever. The Alberta Premium, but now with water, put down to like a, less fire brigade level and some time. Yeah, it's still very potpourri driven, which I love. But the rhubarb thing, the rhubarb pie thing, really is sort of also right there with it. Not nearly as complex as this, or not complex is the wrong word. It has the complex. It doesn't have the sort of depth, the layers of this. Has a kind of, nice leafy, dusty thing. Not much development since from where it was neat, but it's lovely. It's nice. It has a density to it that I really like. Right on the palate. Mm-hmm. A little bit of an Amaro note, a little Campari in there. Rhubarb pie, that potpourri thing is still like just dominating everything. A little coconut now, actually, along with the like vanilla coconut. That's from the oak. Tea, a little bit like this, but it's sort of not Earl Grey. This is. It feels like an other old school tea blends, but yeah, I don't know if I can get more specific than that on the fly. Mm-hmm. Oh, that's good. Not a traditional rye. Like, again, if you're an MGP nerd, you come to this, you're gonna be disappointed. You're gonna be like whine and cry. Like, where's my dill? I want my dill and my asparagus. Give me my green. There's not a lot of green in this. There's a lot of floral and perfume and potpourri, but it's just a different style, which I really like though. Big and serious, not aggressive though. This is really well done. Also, just still coats the mouth really well. I mean, Americans need to learn how to use not new oak. It's something we should be exploring. We should be stealing from these guys. One more try. Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's good. I'm still gonna go with this guy if I have a choice, but this is an 87-point whiskey. By the way, look at the screw top. This is so cheap and awesome. I love it. This is great. This bottle is straight out of the 1970s. No, sorry, 87 out of 100. Terrific whiskey, and well worth your. This is actually a little bit cheaper than these guys, so $70. Well worth your $70. That's all I got to say. Well done, Canada. I hope to see more stuff like this in the future. And if you have like more crazy Canada-only bottlings, send them our way. We'll buy them. Like do you see where the American spirits market is right now? We're a mess. Like come save us. Bring us some old stocks that we can actually buy. All right, that's all I got. Canada seems very promising right now, and thanks for watching. Hope you learned something, and cheers.